So welcome to lecture 5. So for today we are going to talking about the custom view and then the view controller transition. So what does it mean? Then we go through the class and then we will see it. So let me run this one. Okay. So custom view. So what does it mean by custom view? So like if you remember in your S code, it will have some predefined view, right? Like the UI view, UI, the image view, the button, the label. And then if you want to do something else, then you need to customize that one. And how are you going to do the customization, right? So some of the reason for the custom view, right? For example, you want to do some drawing, right? But like you want to do the progress bar, for example, when you download something, then how do you show the progress bar, right? Or for example, if you remember when you download some app from App Store, you see a circle, right? And it's moving like a pipe, and it's moving the circle, right? So how we going to implement something like that? Right? So to begin with that one, we have the starter project here. You can download that one and follow if you want, or just see my walkthrough. Okay, so I already download that one. So inside that folder, we will have two things, two projects for two ideas for today's lecture. So the first one we will talk about a custom view. When you download the project and you open the view demo, so we see here some of the file I already created. The first one is the progress view. So this is just basically a UI view but empty. We don't have anything here. And the view controller is, I should remove this one. So it's also an empty view controller, and on the main storyboard we don't have anything here. Right, so just a basic project with I added a progress view and then some file. We talk about this one later, these two files later. So on the progress view first, so we are going to implement something like the progress view, meaning the progress bar when you download something, it runs from 0% to 100%. Okay, so we have this one. This class is progress view, so I will create a new this one will be a new what progress view. It should be var, right? And then the class is progress view. Okay, so then we want to draw the a bar, a line, right? So to do that, we will say progress view, and then so we had the frame in the frame of your view, right? Normally it will be a rectangular. If you see here, you tie on the frame and it say CG meaning a rectangular, right? So what do we want to have here? It will be like CG and then I select this one as I put it at 10, and then Y is like 100. With a say okay, UI screen dot main screen dot view file okay dot width. Okay, so this is the command you if you want to test the width of your main screen. So on you get the UI screen and main screen, and you can get file and width. Okay, so the height for this one I say for example 100. Okay, so basically we had the view here, and let's fix it. What I'm missing, right? And then I say add subview view dot and then I add the progress view. Okay, so when it's run this code, what do you think we will have? I haven't had anything inside this one, so it's still empty, right? So just put something in the view controller here. So as you see, we have a rectangle, right? And by default, if we didn't set anything, then it will be black, right? So for example, if you want to set the background color to be UI color and then dot white color, okay, I set that one to white, and then we haven't got anything, right? Just draw a rectangular. But then if you go to the progress view, you will have, when you create a new file, and this one is soft Cocoa Touch and then net, and then if that one is subclass of the view, right? For example, just right. So when you create a new file, it will be like this one, and it has the function called draw rect, and then you draw the rectangular. So I remove this one for now. We use the one I just created. So draw rect. If you read here, Able recommend that only perform the custom drawing when you want to do the customization for the drawing. Then you override this one. But then even the empty implementation of this one still affect the performance during animation, right? So this procedure is very costly. So if you really want to do the custom drawing, then you do this one. But normally it will affect your app performance. So you may don't want to do that. Okay, if you really need to do, then you do. Okay, so drawing code. Let's get back to our lecture. Let me close this one. Okay, so drawing code. You can see here we have something. Let me copy this one first. Okay, so this is the code to draw a line. So in Xcode we have something called CG. CG means core graphic. So we all the time we use the core graphic to draw anything. Right. So is there anyone like familiar with the canvas or the SVG, the scalable graphic vector file? Right. Something. If we want to draw something, right, we will move the pen. We put the pen down on one point, right, and then we move the pen. For example, we want to draw a line. We move the pen to another point, and then we draw that one. So we use some command to control the CG to draw something like that one. So the similar idea here we have. First we will initiate a new thing called the graphic context. So it will get the graphic like this one is UI graphic get current context, and then this one will set the stroke color. We can remove this one now. I just stroke color means you want to set the color of your line, your path. Okay, and then now we want to draw a new line. So this is some of the commands. So just follow the sequence. Like the first one, you start the path, and then the second one we move to some point, a certain point, and then the next one you move the pen down and then add a new line to this point, right? And then the last one will be drawing. Okay, so after we have something like this one, so for now, for example, I say I want to draw from 0, 0 to the whole rectangular width, right? So this is this coordination is on the view. It's not on the full view, right? It's just on the view we just created here. So here I say I want it's actually on this in this black box. So I draw from 0, 0 on this black box, meaning from here. So I draw from 0, 0 here, and I draw all the way to the end, right? So I will draw a line like this, right? So let's go back to this one. We set the color to be the red color, right? So if I run this one, I will see a line, a red line on the top of the black box. It's actually no more black. I changed that one to white already, right? So if we run this one, right? So we have a red line here, right? But then this one is not what we want. We want to draw something we call progress bar. Meaning it should run based on the progress, right? If like 50%, it should draw like half the line only. So how do we do that? Go back to this one. So I add another parameter called progress, and this one will be CG float, and I set it by 0 at first. Okay. So how we going to do that? Okay, again. No need to be use something very big like that. Just be simple. So here we save that we want to, where is it? So I will add the timer. So like every 0.5 seconds, I will increase the progress by for example 10%, and then we update that field. Okay, and then if we want to do the timer, then it will be the NS timer, and then schedule timer with interval. This one, right? Nope, wrong one. Schedule should be this one, the one with the target one. Okay, so this is the time. So I say 0. For example, I say 0.2 seconds, and then target will be cell, and then the selector will be, I do it later, and user info, this one should put new and repeat E2. Okay, so for the selector, it will execute some function when the timer trigger, right? Every 0.2 seconds, I want it to do something. So it will be I create a function here on timer, and then this one will be the timer, the type at timer. Okay, so what do we want to do here is we increase the progress by 10%, will be 0.1, right? And then if the progress larger than 1, then if more than 100% already, then we invalidate, we stop the timer, right? So the timer dot invalidate else. Then we need to update the timer of the progress of the progress bar, right? So I go back to the progress view, and I also set a variable here. So progress, this will be the CG flow, and by default I set it to 0. And then, so by now you should be familiar with this one, this set, right? What is this set mean? What does it mean? Still remember? Right. So when I set the progress variable in another view, then it will update it will update the value here, and we want to do something here, right? Okay. So when we have the progress, we don't want to draw everything to the full size, right? We just want to draw to like this. So like if, for example, like 80%, if progress is 0.8, then I should draw 80% of the width, right? Okay. Let me go back to this one. I set the S is 10 pixels from the left, and the width I minus 20. Is it okay? So I want to add another 10 pixels on the right as well, so we can see the whole line, right? And it's symmetric on both sides. Okay. So the selector here will be what? Cell dot on timer. Okay. So what does it mean when I set the timer here every 0.2 seconds? It will execute this on timer function, and on the on timer I will increase the progress by 10%, and if it's more than 1 minute, it already reach 100%, I will stop the timer, right? Else, what do we do here? We set the progress view dot progress to be the progress, right? Okay, but then go back here. What do we want to do when it this set? We need to draw again, right? We need to draw everything again. So how do we do that? Like we copy this one to another function and we call that function again, or what? So here, what the raw red again? Is it? Okay, so as code we have something called layout. What does layout? Uh, hmm? Set need. Oh, this one. Set need display. Okay, so what does it mean by this one? So when we set the progress, so it will set this display, so it will update the view. So wherever it need to update the view, so it will run. So basically we just update the so this function will be called again to update the whole view, right? Uh, hmm? So this one option. Oh yeah. So if we click on the set need display, so it will mark the receiver entire bound receiver. So meaning it will redraw everything. Basically, when we set the progress, we want to update everything to refresh the view. Right. So let me run to see what happening. Wait. You see that one? Not seen. So why don't we call the draw again? So actually it has some feature like that. Is it not in this one but in the main view controller as well? If sometimes you want to update on the view, so you can call that feature, that function. You don't need to, because you don't need one either function. It need to run to update the view. In this case, it's just one function. It should be okay. But in like some other cases, it has like multiple function. It update here and there, right? But then if you just call this one, it will update everything on the view, not just one. This in this case, just one UI view, right? Like for example, later you had a UI view controller, you have like a table view here, and then a image view here, a label here, a button here. Then you want to update everything, then you just call this one, and it will refresh everything for you, right? So in general, we should use this one. Okay. Let me go back to this one and I try to. What do you do? Too small.
But this only reflect what inside the UI view. It's not the whole screen.
In this case, we just refresh the progress view. So whatever inside the progress view, it will be refreshed. So for example, I say I want to add a button here. Let me change the view. This one is similar to. Okay, so like I say reset, and when I wrong one. So I create a function here, the action here, and reset command. And let me move everything like run. Okay, and then on reset I will run. So this is made it easier to just. Okay, so it will run like that, right? You see it run like every like 10 steps, it run to the end. So if I reset, why it's gone? Why it's not running again? What happened? No, actually on this one we need to remove that subview. right? I already add the subview, and then another thing is that I need to reset the progress to 0, right? I haven't set the progress anywhere, so I need to set the progress back to 0, and then I also want to remove the progress view dot remove. What is the function? What is the function? So remove from subview, right? So it's remove from subview. I mean, it will be removed from its parent, meaning the whole screen. It will remove itself. So let me run again. Okay, and then if I click reset, it will run again. Let's run faster. Okay, let me try. Let me try one more thing. So at the beginning, I say I want to draw a circle, right? And then if we download like something, if we had that circle, like similar to what when you download an app from App Store, you see there are a circle there with it's blocked in the whole icon, and then when it's download like 80%, and it move that circle. Then I also have that code here. It's actually draw pipe, so I should copy this one and go back to where is it? A progress view. Okay, so I put it here. Actually, for this one, we need the because we want to fill the whole circle, not just drawing. Before I remove that one, so I need to get it back. Okay, just right here. So the part will be green color. Okay, let me see. So similar to when we draw a line. So we need to move a pen. We put the pen down on the point. So I say I want to move it to 50-50, and then we draw in an arc means like just a curve, right? And then this is some parameter for that one. So we need to do some conversion from the progress to be the angle how big this one we want, right? And then just run it. So fast, huh? See, it's actually the one from Apple is cooler. It had like the alpha is less than 1, so you can also see the icon in the background, right? But we don't have time to do that one. But similar idea, similar concept, you can try if you want. Okay. See. Okay, so that's how we do the custom drawing. So again, Apple already warning you. This one is very costly. It consume a lot of resources, so it will cause a lot of performance impact when you do some animation. You combine this one with animation, and it may impact to the animation as well. Okay, so if you really need to do that one, then you do, and if you don't want, then just use if you able to use the UI view animation. You use that one is really good, like what we learned last week. Then you can your app look cool already. You may not want to use this custom drawing. Okay, so the second thing I want to talk. Okay, so we done with this one. If you notice, we have two things here: the zip file. So this is the first time we see this zip file, right? If you already know about like Objective-C, then you will be very familiar with this one, because before Xcode 6, we don't have any idea about storyboard. So they don't have the storyboard. Everything will be by code. So when they create the view controller, they also need to do by code. Everything manually by code. And then this is the one. The zip file is the one we are going to learn about. Okay, so if I click on this one, we have something here. This is a label. You see here, this is a label. Okay, and then this is view, right? Let me try to create a new one. So we learn how we can create something like this one. So for now, just ignore the file I just created. Then I create new file. Right. So all the time we only use the you create new file. And that's one is the source, and then we choose the Cocotus class, right? And then now we click on this one, the user interface. We want to create some UI. Okay. And then when we click on the user interface, we will have something like the storyboard, views, empty, and then the launch screen. The first three things is like is pretty much the same. Storyboard, you know, this is the storyboard, right? When you put the storyboard there, and then you can add there the view controller, and then you put the thing on the view controller, right? And this is view, it will create a view for you. This is empty, basically it's totally empty. You do whatever you want. That's one. So for now, you use the view and the launch screen. You know this one. Actually, on your project, each one will have one launch screen storyboard. So this one is the screen that it will be first displayed when you launch the app. Like this is where you want to put a thing like the instruction for the user, how they want to navigate through the screen on your app, or something like that. Right. Or just some string to say who is the developer, or and with introduction about the app, something like that. Okay, so for the purpose of this class, we will create a view. So remember, we go to the user interface and we create a view, right? So next, and then I save. This one will be my second zip create. Okay, so you see when I create a file like that one, it will be the zip. The extension is .zip. Okay, so what is the format of this file? So when you see we create a view, right? So it's my stupid. Let me hide this one first. So I say I just create a view, so it have view for me. So when you see this one, it had a battery icon here. So meaning it assume this is a full view. The view will be full screen, but you can change the size of this one, but cannot change now. How can we change this one? So we set it aside and we say freedom. Okay, and then we can freely moving it around. Right. For example, I want to set the view like this. Oh, this is your custom view. So for example, let's say I will set some color. Okay. So what is the format of this file? Any guess? If I click on this one, I view this one as the source code. Yep, right. So we have an XML file. So it's actually an XML file. So we can take a look on this one. It has all the thing here. So what do we have? Say we use auto layout. Yes. So it's still using some of the thing from Objective-C. In Objective-C we don't have like true and false, but they have yes and no. So all the time you see here yes and no. So in the object list here, we have a view, right? We should have only one view on our where is it? The second with second zip. Okay, yeah. So we have a view here, and it have. If you see here, the view, and yeah, we have the ID here. So later we will see what does it mean by this ID. But now we have in this zip file we have one object, and that's it, a view, right? So let's switch it back to the interface builder. So if you remember IBE, the interface builder. So let's take a look on this one. My first zip. If I change this one to shortcode, we can see we have two things, right? In the object we have a label and then a view, right? So let's switch it back to the interface builder. So yeah, You see here we have a label and a view, right? But forget this one for now. We want to use my second zip. So this is where you do all the customization for your view. And the reason we want to do that is if you want to reuse this one. For example, you create a for example the Twitter assignment. You have a custom cell, right? The cell like the let me add something. What do you have on the Twitter cell? Label, right? We will have a label here and an image view, right? Yeah, something like that. And right, so this will be the handler, for example, right? And then what do we want to create this zip file? If we want to review this one, like for example in the home timeline screen, you also need to use this one, right? You need to display all the tweets from everyone on your timeline, right? And then when you click on your old profile, you also reuse the same cell, but that one is now is display your tweet, right? Or you click on a user to view like a user profile, the user timeline, right? Then it also display the list of tweets. Then it will be reuse this one, right? We create one cell, but we can reuse multiple times. So that's why we need to do some custom view like this one, and we can reuse. So, but for now we want to know how we can show this one on our view controller, right? So let me move to this view controller, and I just leave it there. Okay, so we have something called nib what. So actually, nib is just the binary file of the zip, and then here we have the two things. Actually, we can get the nib from the data as well, but we don't learn about that one now. We want to do the easy way, is the nib file. So nib file is what is? It's actually the zip you just create, right? So it will be my second zip. So nib is the binary version of zip. So just that simple, and then the bundle is all the time new. I have never seen any case it's not new. If anyone know, then tell me why. Okay. If anyone see in any case it's using something else not new, then you can tell me. All the time I see it's new. Okay, so then we have something called nib.instantiate with owner, and then for the owner I say new. Now I set everything to be new first, and we see what happening. Okay, so if you option and click on this one, you see it will return a what? Yep, it's return an array of object, right? So okay, let me see, let object, you go to this one, and then for object in object, and then let's try to print this one first. No, print this one. Is it? Okay, so let me try and run. Okay, so forget about this one. We don't need to take a look on this one anymore, but we want to see here. So what is it print out? What do we have? UI view, right? If I change this one to my first, for example, I change this one to first zip, what will we have? two things, right? UI label and see. So we will have an we have a UI label and then also another UI view, right? Okay, so but this is the rule of thumb. So never ever do anything like this. Don't do more than one object in one view. Okay, if you want to do something, you move this one, you move the label inside the view. So don't create something else. So just it will make your code is neat and cleaner. So like if you can also do multiple view here, and then you when you instantiate that one, you can get check for the ID, and then you can get that view to show. But don't do that. So just one with one view, one zip. Okay, so let me go back to this one. So like if we can print a list of objects, right? But it's the best practice to only have one object in one zip. You can have a bunch of things will be the child of the view, but don't create multiple things at the same level, right? Like the first zip at the beginning is a bad example. Before we had this one is the same hierarchy with the view, right? We don't want to do that. Okay, so for the second zip, what do we have now? So how are we going to print that one to show that one on the view, right? We haven't able to do that one. So how do we do that? So let view one equal to object, and then we get the last one, and we cast this one into the UI view. I can cast with the exclamation mark because I know there are view there, and it's a view, so I can cast it never new, so I can cast it safely, right? And then I can what can we do now? Add subview, right? So it will be view dot add subview, and then I add the view one here. Okay. So where do you think this view one will be displayed? Where? See, right? It will be displaying on the 0, 0 of the view, right? If you want to display this one to some location we want, for example, I want to move this view one dot frame dot origin dot y. I move this one like 300 pixels to the y. See, so it will display here. Okay. So where the text and the image view, we have something like that one, but now it just show a yellow rectangular, right? Where is it? A second zip. So I had the text here. I haven't set anything for the image, but at least I should have the text here, right? Why it's not showing anything? No, that's not one. Now everything is inside the view. If I show the view, it should show everything inside the view. Right. So, but which one? You want to check the first one? View controller. Oh, I put the first one. Okay, let me change to second. No, it's still the last. It's even only one. You get the last one. It's still okay. Right. Even you call the first or the last, it's the only one, and you're able to get that one. Okay, so we have the text here, but we don't have the picture because we haven't set anything for the picture. But then we also need to do something else. So remember when we have something like this one, like the view, and then when you click on this one and you set the class, meaning you create another class like this one. We had a class calling view controller, and then you associate that class with this view controller, right? But for now, for this one, for this my second zip, then how can we access to the label inside this one and set the value for that label? And I want to set the image with URL for the image. How can we do that? Right, we also need to associate this one with a class, right? Similar concept, right? So how do we do that? So one thing we notice here, we haven't touched this one, the file owner. So if we click on this one and we see this class is an object. So meaning it's right now we didn't associate this one with anything, right? So how do we do that? We will create a file, right? New file, and then it will be the, go back to this one, Cocoa Touch, and then net. So it will be the UI view, right? A class will be the UI view, right? So and I name it the same name for like easier, it matching together, it's easier for you to manage. My second zip, and it will be dot script, right? Okay, next. Okay, so we have my second zip here, and what we want to do is to click on the file owner and we change this one to my second zip, right? So now you will be able to create the outlet, right? So if I change this one to automatically, and then now we will able to create the outlet for it. So I say this one is like name label, and this one is the avatar image, right? And if we do that way, we will able to create the outlet. And then after we create some outlet, let's take a look again on the XML file to see what had changed. Move this one down. Okay, so what do we have here? The owner. So the file owner. Now we have the owner is the my second zip, right? And then we have the, you see here on inside the view we have a sub view. What do we have on the sub view? We have a label and then a image view, right? So the label we have the where the ID where is it? Should be on the, where is it? Oh, here, wait. So it's here, not there. So you see the outlet here, the outlet for the avatar image, the destination will be this one, right? So if we search for this one and see where is it, right? The destination of this outlet is the ID of the image view, right? That's how it's structured in the XML file. So if you remember when you create some outlet and then you change your mouse, then you delete something, right? But then you didn't clear on the outlet on the storyboard. For example, this one, if you right click on this one, you still see the outlet here. So it will call your app crash, right? Because you didn't remove everything. It in the XML file is still there, right? So you need to properly delete in both your code. For example, you create some outlet here, you need to delete it here and then also delete on the storyboard, and you create a new one. Okay. So let's go back to my second zip. Right. So we see it had changed, it update the sub view of the view. We have a label here and the image view here, and outlet. Right. We have two outlets here. Okay. Understand this XML. Right. It just to help you to understand the structure of the XML file. We normally we will not touch this one. All the time we will use the interface builder. It's easier for us. Okay, so let's go back to the view controller. Okay, so this is the one way we want to to show the view, but then it's like this code should be displayed where should we put this code? Right, the code to handle this one should be inside the my second zip, right? We don't want to don't want to do a mass setting here in the view controller, right? I say, hey, my second zip just display display whatever you have for me. Don't ask me to clone everything to check what is the object do you have and then display that one, right? So let's move this one. Okay, I put it in a function called method one. We don't want to do that. We go back to method. Okay, so we go back to the my second zip. Okay, so what do we do? What do we have here? We just create an empty UI view file. We haven't had anything here, so we want to initialize this one, right? And how do we do that? If we command and click on the UI view, you will see here we have two functions for initialization. So just copy these two, go back to the second zip dot swift. Okay, and then we will implement these two. So the first one, Xcode will complain and we just make it happy. So it say insert override. Okay, remove the publish one. And then what does it say for this one? It will be the, no, it's not internal. It should be, why I say internal? It should change to require. Huh? Is it what? So here we have super dot init, this one, right? And the frame will be frame. And then same thing here, we have super dot init, and this one will be the coder, and it will be a decoder. Right, so this is just the two functions that we use to initialize on the UI view. So just remember to init thing, and then you just after you call this one, you call this function again, super.init, and then this, the first function we use the frame, the second function we call the decoder. And then what do we want to do here? The what do we have here? The set. No, it's not set. We need to call the init sub. No, the function init sub view. Okay, so after we initialize, then we will init the sub view. So what do we have in the sub view? It will be similar to what we did here. So we just copy this one. Go back to, okay. So we don't do any custom drawing here. So I just delete this one. Okay. Let's remove this one. Okay, so this is the way we move on the code from view controller to the view. Right, so in this one we move everything here, and then it's easier. So I don't want to print this one. Let's delete it. Right, and then in this case the, okay, so this is one thing you need to notice. You nib.instantiate, and then now the owner, we had the owner, right? Before we didn't set anything for the owner, so I set it, that's one to new, but now we had a file owner, and then the file owner is this one, right? So I set that one to cell, right? And then the options to new. Okay, and then we had this one, and we display this one, we don't want this, and we add subview, right? So now we remove the code from the view controller to that one. So what we want to do here is what we still call the nib. So let me just copy this one. Is it? So
Voice.
my sec hmm? uh, my second zip. Oh yeah, we have here. So just say let view one equal to my second zip. So because before we only write to initializer, right? So it have here, so we can use the second one here. We want to set the frame as well, so we use this one, and the frame will be a rectangular, right? So I say I want this one to be x will be 0, y will be like 300, width is where the width before this again UI screen, UI screen dot main, what is it, dot width, right? And hey, I say this one. So we don't want to instantiate the nib anymore. We do this one inside the my second script, right? This one is missing something dot bow dot width. Okay, right. So you see, we just move everything the code into the my second zip, and then we have the we just call the view here. We initialize the view here, and then for now we can add the view. So it will be exactly the same, right? Okay. So we just instantiate this one, the view one. So for now, wherever you want to use the view one, you just call this one. It will initiate for you, and you put the frame for it. For example, you say you want to put one here at the 300 from here, and another like 400 at this point. You put another one, so you just use this one, and you can reuse your view, right? Anywhere and in any view controller, right? Okay, so one last thing. So one net, look at this. I will create a new. So also a sock, and then if you click net on this one, so you see this one. Why this one is disabled, right? It's have here, but it's disabled. What does it mean? But it's disabled. Also create a zip file. Okay, so if we change this one to view controller, UI view controller, it will enable for you, and you will be able to check on it. So what is the difference? Yeah, for the UI view controller, it will create another bunch of things like for the view controller life cycle. So when you use the view controller, you have something like view did load, view will appear, view disappear, something like that, right? Right. So if we use this one, only the view controller have the cycle. Like the view doesn't have this one. The view controller have the life cycle. So if we create this one and it create the zip file for you, then it will initialize all the code for the life cycle for you. You don't need to care about this one. Okay, so I will create a first view controller, and it's also create a zip for me. So like I say next create. So we have the first view controller here. Also we have a zip. What do we have here? It's actually a view, and it's again the view is full size, but it now it's a view controller, right? And if we check on the file owner, you see it's only associated this class for you, right? So let me, for example, I want to add a button here. Button to this view controller, I set this one to 4 inch, easier to see. Drag it here. And auto layout work the same in this case, so I want to set it to center, so it will be in the middle of the screen, at the center of the screen. This one I say this mid. Okay, So for example, I want to like dismiss this view controller when I click on this button. So let's quickly write some code for that one. How do we want to dismiss a view controller? Anyone? On dismiss, and this is a action, right, on the UI button. Okay, so for dismiss this one, just say dismiss view controller animated, right? And I say I want to dismiss it completion new. No, nothing in the condition. And I should not. I just want to put new. Okay, so if I dismiss this one, it will be new. Okay, but then so now we have two things: one view controller from the storyboard, and one view controller in your code. Then how do we show it view controller? This first view controller, like it's not appear on your storyboard, right? So this one, right? On your storyboard, you only have one thing. Okay, and then if I say I had a button here, I say show to show the net view controller. Then how can I do that? Where that button? So again, UI an action, and then on show. This is a UI button, right here. How are we going to show the first view controller? So similar idea, we will need to call the nib UI nib. Right, we have a zip file here, right? So the zip file, to get the binary version of that one, you need to call the UI nib, and then we have the nib name here. So what is the name? My first no more my first view controller, right? And then the bundle is new again. Okay, right, and then we will have the let similar thing object go to what do we have, like a nib dot in instantiate the owner will be cell, and then option in new, right? And then we cast the net view controller equal to object dot last, and then we cast this one into the first view controller. Okay, and how do we present this one? Present view controller, right? This one, right? I want to present view controller, and then I present the net view controller animate to completion new. Okay, so let's try to run. So I had a show button here. If I click on show, so it's crash white. What happened? Try to see. Could not cast a value of UI view to the view controller. So what do we have here? Yeah, we have this first view controller, right? Yeah. Again, so sorry, we already have the script file, so we don't need to initialize again. So it should be like this what I just did is just the method one, if in case we don't have the script file, but if we already have that one, so let's say just next. Let's comment out this one. Go to first, this one, right? And then this one, we're using this one, the name. So what is the name? First view controller. Is it? And the bundle in new, and then we can show this one. We have button show here, so it show the first view controller. The view controller we create by code, right? And if I click on this dismiss that view controller. Okay, so from now you should learn how to create a custom drawing, right? And then a custom view, and then the last one is the custom view controller, right? So let's get back to this one. So why do you need to do all the custom things, right? What is the benefit between using the storyboard and the custom view controller? What do you think? Is it easier to do you put everything on your storyboard, you can see everything? Is it easier? Like on your storyboard, it will have the segue as well, right? So you can see how the flow of your app, right? If you click on something, it will show to the next screen, something like that one. Like if you click on a segue, you trigger a segue, so that segue will do the instantiate view controller, and then it get the new view controller for you. And then in the prepare for segue, remember this one, in the prepare for segue, you will be able to get the next view controller, and you will initialize everything there. For example, you want to pass the movies, like in the movie homework, you get the next view controller dot movie, and then you will set the movie for the detail page, right? So what do we want to do the custom view controller?
We just need part of the view, not whole view controller.
Yeah, in your case, the custom UI view, but in this case, the whole view controller, right? So the reason we want to have the custom view controller, if you work on a team, right? Everyone working on the same storyboard, that will be a nightmare. When you push the code and you merge your code, it will be conflict everywhere, and you don't want to. You don't know which one you should select, right? If your app is just small, you're working on just few people, and then just have few screen, you can work on storyboard. It's still okay to manage as one. Sometimes it cause some conflict, but it's small and you're still able to know which one to correct the conflict. But then if your app getting bigger and bigger, like have more than 10 screens, then it's very hard to manage that way. So that's why people can use the custom view controller. So for now, if you see, I will work on the login view controller, and I work on that one. When you want to call me, I just call just initialize me and call it anywhere you want, right? And I can work on my own design, right? I do everything here. When you want to call me, just call. Rather than if everyone working on the same main storyboard. Hey, we had a login page here. We have the home timeline page here. And I working on this one, you working on this one. And when you merge together, then have only one storyboard. When you merge everything together, right? So that's some. Of course, we have some advantage and disadvantage, pro and con of each method. It's up to your team, which one you're familiar and you want to go with.
So what we implement in the prepare to segue, we move it to the initializer.
Yep. So in the initializer, you can also get for example, here you're able to get the net view controller, right? And then you can set everything here. For example, I set a file here. Who is the pool? Is it pool? Right? Something like this, and then here I will be able to access that variable, right? Net view controller. I haven't saved it. See, right? Similar to what we did before for the movie view controller. Right. So it's up to you. You want to use the storyboard or you want to use the custom view controller. Okay. So let's take a 5-minute break. We go to the next one.